77 degrees, and it is weather to break out the brooms. Pirates looking for the 2-game sweep. Ken Macha's lineup against the Pirates tonight brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward, Weeks, Escobar, and Fielder now moving into the 3 spot tonight. He was hitting 4th last night. Braun moving into the cleanup spot. Casey McGee, Corey Hartgreg's on. Adam Stern gets a start in center field, and then Chris Narveson doing the pitching.
There's Paul's numbers on the season, holding lefties to 167 this year. Great left-handed batting average. It might be part of the reason why Fielder has Braun hitting behind him, trying to get him a few better pitches to hit.
Just a gorgeous night here tonight. Ricky Weeks led off last night's ball game with a double, and then would be stranded. Brian Burris striking out 2 to get out of that first inning 24 hours ago.
He struck out Braun and Fielder. Those are the 2 that went down. That was a great start to the game last night, being able to strand Weeks at third base with their 2 big guns coming up.
And Burris got through 6 innings, gave up only 3 runs, did the job. Pierce with a backhand, tossed to Mulholland. A long toss, too. And there is 1 out, showing some defense. And let's look at the rest of the guys lining up defensively for the Pirates. Millage, McCutchen, and Jones in the outfield. LaRoche at third. Cedeno, Bobby Crosby for the 2nd straight night is at second base. Same with Steve Pierce at first. And Jason Jaramillo makes his 8th start behind home plate. Jaramillo saying watch for the bunt. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, is up. Last night late in the game with Ryan Braun at the plate. He took advantage of Andy LaRoche playing third deeply and laid one down. There's one towards second. Crosby's got it. Quickly 2 away.
Well, you like to see that. Get a couple outs in that first inning on just 4 pitches. Now, this first inning against Milwaukee, in his first start, they got 3 runs off of him. I'm sure that was in the back of his mind warming up for this evening's game. So far, so good.
Mulholland has struck out Fielder 11 times. Fielder 3 hits off him in 37 at bats. Pitch outside, ball 1. There's Andy LaRoche, who was playing over there at shortstop with a shift on. Cedeno on the second base side, and Crosby out in short right field. Nobody on, 2 down, top of the first. 2-0. Well, what is it, Bob, when a pitcher just seems to have a hitter's number, especially a good hitter and a good power hitter like Fielder?
Well, Mulholland is excellent against left-hand hitters in general, and you get a guy up there that's a free swinger, power guy looking to drive the ball, you can stack up some strikeouts against him, and that's the situation that Mulholland has found himself in. But there's always that threat that one swing could be instant offense with Fielder. No matter what the numbers say, no matter how many times you've struck him out, you never get that comfortable feeling. You're always having to go at him hard.
Millage on the run. He's not going to get it. Foul ball. He stutter stepped and hesitated for just a moment, and that keeps Fielder alive.
Not sure where that corner is that juts out, and luckily this was shallow enough to where he didn't really hurt himself. That could have been very dangerous if he was just a little bit deeper. You see him looking to check the corner. Oh, he would have possibly messed up an ankle if he would have went feet first that late right into the fence.
It's a tough play. Two and two to Prince Fielder. Stays that way.
And Mulholland shook off fastball inside and got Jaramillo to call fastball away, and then he threw it inside.
And now Jaramillo goes out to try to figure this one out.
Well, I think that's kind of what. Well, you know, Paul wanted to go fastball away. He shook twice to get it. He shook off the breaking ball, And then he just didn't throw the ball where he wanted to. He ended up throwing the ball where Jaramillo originally wanted it.
Again, the 2-2 pitch to Prince Fielder. Struck him out for the 12th time. A 1-2-3 top of the first inning as Mulholland gets the better of the Brewers. So John Russell sends him up against Chris Narveson and the Brew Crew. Brought to you by Suzuki. Millage leading off again. Bobby Crosby in the 2 spot. McCutcheon third. Jones, Pierce, LaRoche Cedeno, and Jason Jaramillo. A .306 average with 3 home runs career at PNC Park. And Paul Mulholland batting 9th. John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire, is being attended to right now. And something occurred just as we were coming back from our break. Get a look at what occurred with the home plate umpire. As Narveson was warming up.
Oh, that's what occurred.
Umpires like to lean in there to get a good look at the pitch.
I don't even think Zahn slowed it down.
Wow. Took it square off the mask. And Mike Sandoval, one of the Pirates trainers, looking right now at John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire.
When I first looked down there, I thought maybe he had just gotten a little woozy and a warm afternoon. I had no idea that he had taken one straight to the mask just during warm-ups, no less.
You know, the umpires like to get a look before the inning starts. They will lean in. And Zahn just completely missed it.
Well, I'm thinking he must have thought that Narveson was going to throw him a breaking ball. And that's why it went straight to the umpire's mask.
It looks like he's going to be okay. A little smile from John. As Diaz checking with him. Diaz was behind the plate last night. He is at third base tonight. And here's the starter for Milwaukee, Chris Narveson.
Well, he's going to finish his warm-up tosses now. There's his numbers on the year. 3-1's good. 5.29 ERA, not good.
Let's take a look at the Brewers defensively. And in the outfield, Ryan Braun in left. Adam Stern gets a start in center field tonight. And Corey Hart is in right field. McGee, Escobar, Weeks, and Fielder. 30 errors this year for the Brewers. Big Zahn behind the plate. Narveson doing the pitching. Narveson was a reliever at the beginning of the year and was put in the starting rotation when Ken Maka decided to send starter Jeff Suppan out to the bullpen. So that's why you saw a difference in starts and appearances. This is his 14th appearance and his 5th start. And Lastings Milledge will lead things off. 244 average for Milledge. Hirschbeck appears to be okay and ready to go. That'll shake you up.
Look like right there at the end, Zahn. A few words there. Tell him sorry about that. Pitcher's fault.
Always is.
Yeah. Well, in the warm-ups, there are no signs. The pitcher tells you what's coming. They'll give some guys will do it with their free hand, their pitching hand. Other guys will do it with the glove.
1-1 pitch to Milledge. Hughes a foul, 1-2. Well, it's easy just to blame the pitcher anyway. He's only out there once every 5 days. You know, Zahn's got to catch almost every day. That's what happened to John Hirschbeck.
Just a fastball. Got through there. Zahn must have thought it was going to break.
Narveson's 1-2 to Milledge. 2-2. Lastings came up with a big hit last night in the 7th inning that sparked a 3-run 7th and brought the Pirates from a 4-3 deficit to a 6-4 lead, and that's how the final would be. 6-4. And to Escobar. Off the hop, throws out Milledge. 1 down for the Bucks.
Now the Brewers really scuffling right now with their pitching. They're having a tough time keeping the other team off the board.
Bobby Crosby would like to get a hit. Last night didn't have a good showing in the base hit area. Did reach base in the 3rd inning with a walk, but flied out a couple of times to the outfield. Grounded out. He went 0 for 4. He didn't have a successful sacrifice bunt. He was the only guy in the lineup last night, a regular among the starters even. Even Brian Burris had a base hit in the 4th, but he was the only regular, did not have a single in the game last night. So Crosby trying to get back on track hitting wise tonight. Brian. Randy Wolf, last night's opposing starter, the left-hander. Did it seem to you last night that the Brewers kept Wolf in longer than maybe they wanted to due to the struggles of their bullpen?
Oh, I'm convinced of it. Yeah, I think we'll see the same thing with Narveson. Some old school baseball. The starters out there for a while.
2-2 to Crosby. That one's toward the middle. And that will be a base hit. Base hit for Crosby. And now Andrew McCutchen comes up. But it was a tough play for Escobar.
Escobar probably should just put that ball in his pocket. He's not going to throw anybody out. Only bad things can happen. He does that spin move. Crosby, what is he, like 2 steps by the bag by the time the ball gets here? Yeah. You do this spin move here, you're just as likely to throw this in the Brewer dugout as anywhere else. So just eat the ball. I mean, if you don't have a chance, don't make the throw.
Andrew McCutchen at the plate. Throw to first, and Crosby is back. Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Leads the team in base hits with 50. And is one of the league leaders as well in that category.
Settling nicely into that number 3 spot, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Martin Prado of the Braves going into action today had 53 hits. So McCutchen just 3 behind the league leader. Here comes the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. He also does well against lefties. His last 19 at-bats against left-handers, he has 11 hits. And overall, hitting .440 against southpaws. His overall average against left-handers is 3rd in the National League, behind Benji Molina of the Giants at .457, and David Wright of the Mets, who's hitting .444, but Wright was benched recently. 1-2 to McCutchen.
Who did that get? Heard it hit somebody.
Hopefully it was Hirschbeck again. Yeah, Zahn deserves one after.
Well, I just want to see Hirschbeck get drilled again after. That was on. Zahn got it in the foot.
Hit him right on the pad on top of the shoe. So he saved the umpire that time.
Zahn looks like he's looking up at McCutchen. Make sure that McCutchen's not peeking at his signs.
McCutchen to left field, and backing up on it was Braun.
Thank you very much.
And Ryan Braun was dropping back like a quarterback would when that ball was hit out there instead of moving in.
It was like he was trying to get away from the ball. Like, oh, here it comes. I got to get away.
That was strange.
Well, this shot should really show. Look at him. He's running away from it, so it'll fall in front of him. That is really strange. If you look where he started, and Arvison's going, hey, what are you doing? If you look where he started and where he ended up, the ball bounces right where he was playing. Maybe if he would have taken maybe 2 steps to the right instead of 7 steps back, ball would have hit him in the kneecap.
Here's Garrett Jones, the cleanup hitter. I mean, the sun has already gone out toward the wall. He wasn't affected by the sun. I mean, you're baffled as to why Braun would go back on the ball.
It looked like, I mean, this is not the case, but as it looked like, didn't it look to you like he was trying to run from the baseball? Like get away from it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was right off the bat. He started moving back.
I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this ball must really be tagged, and Braun sees it way better than I do. But nope.
That leaves the Pirates with 2 on and 1 out for Garrett Jones.
I think that shot of Narveson says it all.
Yeah, palms up.
Palms up, looking out there like, what was that?
Well, Pirates need to make it hurt. No balls, 1 strike. And Jones looking to connect on a deep ball. He's still driving in runs. He has 29 and 1 behind Ryan Braun right now. Albert Pujols on that list. Talked about this on last night's telecast. Now Pujols actually is tied at 29 with Jones. 1 behind Ryan Howard. Mark Reynolds of Arizona with 30 runs batted in, and Jones at 29. So even though the home runs haven't been coming, he's still been knocking them in.
I would like to see some long balls, though, not to be nitpicking. The RBIs are fabulous. I love it. Batting average is steadily coming up.
Now he'd like to see him too.
More than I.
Crosby off of second, McCutchen off of first. And the pitch low. Did he go?
Nope. What did he have? He had 3 home runs in the first 6 at bats of the season. Is that what it was? 5 at bats. So
he was on a pretty healthy pace then.
Yeah, you're talking 2 home runs and 137 AB since then. That's not the ratio that he's capable of. He's do something about that.
Count is full, 3-2. Well, Jones is driving in a run every 4.9 at bats.
Imagine what it would be if he was, let's say, had about 8 or 9 home runs right now. Especially if some of them were guys on base.
John Russell and Gary Varsho looking on. 1 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Narveson looks at second. Now he'll come home. And the payoff pitch is lifted foul and out of play. Narveson, born in Englewood, Colorado, lives in Wilmington, North Carolina. 28 years of age. 6'3" and 205. getting a good opportunity with the Brewers now in their rotation. Brewers have lost 9 straight ball games. Jones to Weeks, Escobar, and Jones safe. McCutchen slide at second made it tough on Alcides Escobar, and Jones beating the throw to first base keeps the inning alive.
Anytime it's first and second, the runner at first gets a huge jump and can, if he has any speed, can really upset the apple cart or the shortstop. And that's what Milledge did. Great jump off first base, and that's what you can do. McCutchen, I mean.
So even when you're going to be forced out, there's always a way to contribute, and that's how he did it. Protecting Jones, and now runners at the corners for Steve Pearce.
You got to take advantage of the fact that you're not being held on at first base, and break up the double play. And, having the great speed that Andrew possesses didn't hurt anything either. But that was a good effort by Escobar. You have to give him that. The way he was able to jump in the air over McCutchen and still get a good throw off. Yeah. That's showing a strong arm.
He does have a strong arm. Strong young arm.
You can't, you're not planting the leg. You're getting no push. You're just going straight up and throwing it all arm. And to get it there the way he did, wow, that's pretty good. Not too shabby. I got the haircuts mixed up right there at the time.
1-1 pitch. Pearce swings through it. The dreadlocked outfielders, Milledge and McCutchen. They are inseparable.
Oh, yeah.
They stretch and run together on the field. Their lockers are next to each other's in the clubhouse.
Together on the road. They're roommates here in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or maybe not roommates, but in the same complex. Complex mates.
Play the same video games all the time.
That is big nowadays.
Video games in the clubhouse.
That is huge.
They're big Call of Duty guys. Modern Warfare. Bobby Crosby is the runner at third. Jones at first. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Pirate first baseman, Steve Pearce. Did they have TVs in the clubhouse back then, Bob? Way back then? Or were they just all black and white?
Well, when I first got to Pittsburgh, we didn't really have a TV. We had there was an old, looked like a television, but it had no sides or anything. You could see the tubes and stuff inside of it.
Really?
It sat up on top of Hooley's locker, John Hallahan, the clubhouse guy, and it was just a monitor. It had no sound or anything. And the only thing that was ever on it was when we were on television occasionally. It would be up there on the deal, and that was it. There was no you didn't sit there and watch stuff. Now when we went on the road, most of the road clubhouses had some kind of a TV. It wasn't a 52-inch flat screen, but
3-2, and Pearce hits this one well to left center field. This ball is going to get down and roll into the notch. Crosby scores. Coming around third is Jones. He'll score. And around second and into third with a 2-run, 2-out triple. Steve Pearce.
I mentioned last night and again early during our open that it would be so great for the Pirates and so great for Pearce if he could figure out how to bring that good offense that he has always displayed in the minor leagues. If he could get it up here to the big leagues, a couple of few cups of coffees here and there, and just hadn't been able to do it yet. But a breakout game last night, and here, triple.
Pearce drives in 2. Now Andy LaRoche will take high for ball 1. Pirates on the board. Safe Auto Insurance reminds you that you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. 1-0 pitch to LaRoche. And the strike is called. 1-1.
So let's give a little assist to Andrew McCutchen.
He kept the inning alive.
He broke up that double play, and by doing that, we scored 2 runs with the help of Pierce's shot into the gap. But if you don't have a heads-up base runner, you don't have a good base running effort. If you didn't get that, then the inning's over, and we're in the dugout, and it's a 0-0 game. Little tiny things like doing it right on the bases can have a major effect on a ball game.
LaRoche to right field, and that one is going to get down and go off the Clemente wall.
Make it 3 runs now.
Pierce scores, play at second, and LaRoche is safe with an RBI double. 3-0 Pirates.
I don't want to overstate this, but to me it is so important, especially when it comes to teams that on paper anyway don't have all the big sluggers that other people have. Do the little things right, it'll pay off. McCutchen did a great job breaking up that double play to keep the inning alive, and now we've scored 3 runs since he accomplished that. Obviously, Pierce and LaRoche, they had a lot to do with it too, with the triple and the double. But still, they were afforded the opportunity to even come to the plate this inning because of McCutchen.
Ronnie Cedeno batting in the 7th spot tonight. Jaramillo hitting 8th. He's on deck. Cedeno 238. 1 out of 2 last night. Managed to drive in a run. He's got another duck on the pond as Andy LaRoche leads from second. Big gap in left center field. As Adam Stern, the center fielder, is a few steps over to right center. See how much room the Brewers are leaving in front of the bullpens.
Doesn't matter where they play if they don't run toward the ball when it's hit. If they run away from it, then it doesn't matter.
2-0. Popped him up, and Prince Fielder will call for it. 34 pitches for the Milwaukee starter Chris Narveson, and the Pirates put 3 on the board to take the early lead.
Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by PNC. PNC, for the achiever in us all. By Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward.
Home plate umpire John Hirschbeck still being attended to. Remember, if you're just joining us, you didn't see it, but if you joined us right at the top of the telecast, you saw where Chris Narveson, the Brewers pitcher, came out to throw his first warm-up tosses, and one missed the glove of catcher Greg Zahn, and John Hirschbeck, leaning in, took it squarely off the mask. Here it is right here. Now, this was prior to that last half inning. Now, he still seems to be a little shaken up. So Mike Sandoval and Brian Henderson, the trainers for the Pirates, are out.
He must be having some kind of symptoms that has everybody a little concerned. One of the umpires went running off just a while ago. I'm not sure who it was, but I think that we're going to probably go with a three-man crew is what it looks like to me.
Pirates pitcher Paul Mulholland's walked off the mound. He's over near the Pirates on deck circle. He's trying to get a little view of what's happening behind home plate. And for a starting pitcher, this just upsets your rhythm. Obviously, you don't want anything to be wrong with John Hirschbeck, but he's going to be done, it looks like.
Yeah, one of the other three umpires ran off a while ago. He's going in. He's going to get his gear on as fast as he can, and they'll just go with a three-man crew. They've done plenty of that, I'm sure, in their lives, working in the minor leagues and do it a lot in spring training, so it won't be any big deal tonight.
It'll be James Hoy coming out to call the balls and strikes. We'll take a quick timeout. Pirates 3, Brewers nothing. Braun stealing second with the infield shift on. LaRoche covering second. And Braun saw third base uncovered. LaRoche waiting for him to make some kind of a move because he'd done it before. He knew Braun's game, and he beat him at his own game. The good word today, Ryan Braun said getting to third base right there wouldn't have done us much good, but I saw an opportunity. LaRoche did some matrix stuff or something. I don't know. He was about to throw the ball back to the pitcher, and he did a reverse spin. It was a good play by him, and a stupid play by me. It's Ryan Braun after last night's base running mistake.
Yeah, the key thing was there at the bottom, stupid play by me. I mean, he understands that it was totally senseless to even attempt to move to third base. I mean, even if the Pirates just lay and walk over there, big deal. What did it mean? It was the bottom of or it was the ninth inning. You're down by 2. Your run, who cares? It's the guy at the plate. For you to get erased on the bases, I mean, that essentially it could have cost him the ball game. You don't know what happens if he doesn't make that play. So a huge base running blunder. And what was weird for me was I had just talked about what a great play it was when he laid down that bunt. What a smart heads-up play. He's a big power hitter. But what's he going to do leading off the inning? Can't hit a 2-run homer. He needs to get on base. We were playing deep, not thinking that he would bunt for a base hit, and he did. It was a great bunt, not even a play on him. And that was really a thinking man's move on his part. And then the bonehead play a minute and a half later.
Well, LaRoche remembered going back to the 28th of April when Braun had tried that before. Different circumstance. Fielder at the plate. He hits a ground ball towards second. Again, the shift is on, so nobody's at therd base. And he misses the tag. Jeff Clement wasn't expecting Braun to do anything. Holds the ball at first base, and now Braun's taken off for third. So LaRoche remembered this, and he was kind of laying in the weeds a little bit. I talked to Andy in the clubhouse prior to the game today. I told him about the good word. Told him that Ryan Braun thought he was doing some Matrix stuff or something. Andy just kind of laughed about it. Thought it was a funny comment, but at the same time, he said that he was pausing because he thought that Braun would take off, and he didn't want to throw the ball back to the pitcher too early. So Braun getting set to lead off the inning. He's had an extra long wait. Again, John Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire, has gone one full inning. After the first half inning, he was fine. Then when Chris Narveson of the Brewers came out, he got hit on the mask with a warm-up toss, just flush on the mask, and managed to get through that 34-pitch inning by Narveson. And then after that inning, the bottom of the first, could not continue. So now they'll go with a three-man umpiring crew. James Hoy will be behind the plate. Wally Bell and Laz Diaz on the bases. Obviously a different situation for Paul Maholm. He came off the field, went and sat down. How does something like this upset your rhythm?
Well, he must have been told that they're almost ready, or he should have gone back out to the mound. That he's a pitcher that's kind of nervous in there anyway. He is legendary for getting to the mound quick, warming up. We have a tough time getting our breaks in, all the time with Paul out there. He wants to, when he warms up for the first pitch of the game, he's in the dugout ready to go before game time. And so it's hard to keep him off the field. But right now, he really should have waited until the plate umpire came out before he went out and started throwing, because I mean, it's got to be kind of just gnawing at him right now. He has a 3-run lead. He wants to get the game going, and he's just having to wait. And instead of just standing there, he's throwing the ball, playing some catch. But he could be just sitting in the dugout right now. When the plate umpire comes to the field, then go out and warm up. Wait until you actually see him. And then the plate umpire can get back there and look at a few pitches as you're warming up. Hopefully we catch them all.
That'd be a nice thing. No sign of the home plate umpire yet, so we have a chance to remind you about the third annual Pirates Charities on FSN Auctions. That'll be live from the Trip Total Media Hall of Fame Club here at the ballpark, Thursday, June 17th. Keep watching to see all of the great items up for grabs this year. And remember, your generosity supports Pirates Charities' commitment to strengthening our community. Jolly Roger, and they're saying, hey, let's go.
A little early to be bringing the Roger out.
Andrew McCutcheon's glove stands on its own in the outfield. It's a lengthy delay for everybody.
Still no plate umpire. I can't understand why Paul. Oh, here he comes. Oh, he's coming on.
Had to get all the gear on.
Yeah, but, they got a lot of stuff that they have to wear. It takes a while to get suited up. Is that Hoy?
That's Hoy. James Hoy. Wally Bell there on the right. That's going to be a little difficult for them, too. They need some baseballs for the holsters. Anyway, it's got to be different because, you have your rotation every day. And Hoy was scheduled to be the home plate umpire tomorrow, wherever he would go, but he's going to go tonight.
It's like he's making a spot start. Whoa, catch it. There we go.
It was almost deja vu all over again.
Oh, who's catching, Yogi?
All right, James, play ball. Ryan Braun finally walks to home plate and will start the top half of the second inning. And by the way, the Pirates with a 3-0 lead. Chris Narveson giving up 3 in the first. And in that game on the 28th, we showed you the Braun highlight when he took third base on the shift. Narveson started that one, too, and gave up 3 runs in the first inning. Those were on back-to-back home runs by LaRoche and McCutchen in the first. And that game would end up going 14 innings. On ball and no strikes. The report from downstairs on John Hirschbeck, concussion-like symptoms. So we hope he is okay and recovers well. LeBron takes a strike, 1-1. Mulholland got the side in order in the top of the first inning. Got Ricky Weeks to bounce out to Steve Pearce. Escobar grounded out to Bobby Crosby at second, and then he struck out Prince Fielder. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Andy knocks it down, picks it up, throws, and he got him. Andy LaRoche hangs with it. 4 in a row to start the ball game for Paul Mulholland.
Tough over that third base or shortstop. Left side. Normally you don't have much time to knock one down and still get it out, but LaRoche quickly picked up that ball and got him by 6 inches. Ball liked it. Over at second base, first base, you can do that all day long. Just keep it in front of you, plenty of time. Short or third. Sometimes even just a bobble, depending on who's running, can cost you now. Much less having to actually take a couple steps and pick up the ball you knocked down. And he was just playing gold glove like third base in the month of April.
Casey McGee takes the ball.
Had a little bit rougher time with it the last, maybe 10 days.
Yeah, on the road trip he struggled some. In Chicago. I guess it's like hitting too. You get into fielding slumps. Pitch inside. Speaking of Chicago, Casey McGee first came up with the Cubs last year with the Brewers. Ended up taking over at third base. Ryan Braun went down. This is kind of the chain reaction. When Braun was injured early in the season, Bill Hall went out and played left field. Hall now with the Red Sox. And then McGee went in at third base and then just played so well he ended up sticking there. And McGee is aboard with 1 out. Now Corey Hart will come up.
Hall had moved everywhere for the Brewers and finally moved to Boston.
Yeah, that was the last move he made.
Was Hardy got hurt. He played shortstop all 1 year, and then he went out in center field for a while. And as you said, the third, then had to go play left when Braun got hurt. And it was making a lot of money too. He was a very good offensive player. I think the year he was a shortstop.
Yeah, he was there before J.J. Hardy took that over and then moved him to the outfield.
But I think the year he played shortstop, I think, was when he really had that breakout season offensively.
Hart hits one deep to center field. On the move is McCutchen. He's at the track for the wall. It's off the wall. McGee's going to round third. He will score. And here comes Hart. They're going to hold him up. An RBI triple right off the top of the center field wall for Corey Hart. And it's 3-1.
Looked like McCutchen had it measured. The way he was setting himself up to jump up for the catch. I was surprised when he didn't come down with it. And he keeps looking at it. A little bit of a stutter step, just like he was going to make that catch, make the jump. There it is. Did the ball look like it won't go to the side of the glove or over the top? I think it might have went to the side of the glove.
Here's Greg Zahn. He fouls one back. Well, it looked like from the angle, it looked like it might have gone over the top, but you're right. It may have gone over to the side just a little bit.
Andrew might have been surprised too that he didn't catch it. But right there, I thought he had it measured. No, it's over the top. He just came up a little short. He's got that real long glove too.
Well, we just saw it a while ago standing up by itself. That time,
inches,
come up with
just a couple of inches. There's a good shot of the glove. I think looks like it's about 1.5 feet long, but I'm sure it's within regulations.
Outfielders generally want a bigger one anyway.
Yeah, they normally have the biggest gloves on the field. Look like maybe right off the tip of the thumb part of the glove.
The guy with the biggest glove I can remember was Yankee left fielder Luis Polonia. He had a glove that was like 3 feet long, it looked like. It wasn't really 3 feet, but it was about the biggest glove I can remember seeing an outfielder use.
Most pitchers will use a pretty good sized glove too. There you see that.
Greg Zahn fouls that one away. Got part of his hand.
There's his hit. Oh, off the knob of the bat. Did it? Did it hit the knob? Yeah.
Got just the back part of his hand. Too,
It probably pinched it a little bit. Probably pinched it. The shortstop gloves. The middle infielders usually the smallest gloves on the field.
1-2 pitch foul away.
Third baseman had kind of a mid-sized glove. First base, kind of a mid to large. And there's the big
basket.
That actually is the biggest glove on the field, but it's different than the everybody else's. Has no fingers on it, so the catcher's gloves, they'll vary quite a bit. Some guys aren't real.
That's going to get the run in. Crosby throws out Zahn. Zahn, and excuse me, RBI.
I was going to say, some guys aren't confident or comfortable with that real great big catcher's glove. They like a small one. You got to have good hands. You're going to go with that small glove. Yeah, that was almost like he bunted it. See, he stopped the bat and bunted it over his head. The Pirate infield back. They'll make that trade. They wanted to get that out. They still have the lead.
I'm sure that'll get some laughs in that dugout.
They haven't been laughing too much in that dugout, I'm sure, the last.
Well, they've been looking
8-9 days.
Any reason whatsoever to smile. Losing 9 straight. And there is Adam Stern.
That's a tough place to be right around the home plate area tonight. Everybody's getting bit.
Jaramillo runs that one off. 2 runs in. Ryan Braun grounded out to third to start the inning. Then a walk to McGee. He would come around on the triple by Corey Hart. And Greg Zahn leaning into a pitch. Got an RBI out of it. Parrott patrolling the dugout. Swing and a miss.
Looks like he's giving it to the Brew Crew. Oh, he wants to give it to him. Flash in his fist. He's mad at him.
A pugilistic Parrott. And Stern down on strikes. 2 runs come in on 1 hit. Nobody left. 3-2 Pirates. oblique strain, and he is back tonight. Jack Tashner has been placed on the disabled list. Left hamstring tightness. And John Russell told me prior to the game that Jack has been pitching through that the last couple of games. And now they feel this will give him plenty of time to get that thing healed and get back at it. But Donnelly chomping at the bit to get back in game activity. George Gutierrez takes over at catcher. Greg Zahn comes out. Maybe it was a little bit more than a pinch on his hand when he fouled that one off the knob of the bat.
Yeah, imagine so. Hey, got that little finger. You know, some guys will hang the little finger off the end of the knob, and it may have just kind of smashed it in between the ball and the wood. He's out of there. The home plate umpire or home plate area gets another victim.
Narveson starting the top of the second, bottom of the second rather, against Jason Jaramillo. Pirates with 3 in the top of the bottom of the first. I can't get him straight, top or bottom. Yeah, could you believe we played an inning and a half, and it's been about 55 minutes, mostly because of a delay due to John Hirschbeck getting hit in the head with a warm-up pitch from Narveson. Hirschbeck would remain in and umpire the bottom half of the first, and then have to come out. And then James Hoy behind the plate now had to go in and get his home plate gear on. That took some time.
You might have some late arriving fans that get to see more baseball.
Yeah, they're not missing much. Swinging bunt by Jaramillo. Narveson fields it and throws him out, one away.
Well, they missed 5 runs if they just got here. There's been some ball.
Talking about getting banged up. Let's take a look at our Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine injury update. Chris Jakubauskas, who suffered the concussion April 24th in Houston with a line drive off the bat of Lance Berkman. He's been symptom-free for the last 8 days. He lifted weights yesterday. Made some throws from about 100 feet. He's getting ready to get back at it. That's our injury update. Thanks to our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jakubauskas in good spirits and throwing without any ill effect. He did have a setback at one point during his recuperation where he started to feel some dizziness and was diagnosed with a case of vertigo under some treatment, and now he's been fine since. 0-2 to Mulholland. Paul without a hit in 16 trips to the plate. One ball, 2 strikes. Back Paul out.
Yeah, he was ducking. I'd be ducking too. Everything that's been going on at home plate.
Strike 3 call.
Paul, what are you looking for? Come on. Right there.
Pitchers and hitting. It's often a discussion.
Yeah, they love it. They love the hit. You look at his face as he's walking off, how mad he was. He was totally upset that he struck out. Probably fired his bat into the rack. Look at that. He's saying it wasn't a strike. No, I thought it was a strike. I think you're talking to Don Long. You're talking to the hit coach. How about that?
That's right.
Well, he is mad right now. He thinks that was a ball.
Well, now you got to flip the switch. That's the difference between the American League and National League. You get upset about not hitting, you got to flip that switch to the other side, start thinking about pitching. In the American League, you don't have to hit. You have nothing offensively that can upset you. If you strike out, guys get mad. You go up and make it out. Guys don't like it. It's an emotional game. But
in the American League, you should just pitch for both teams. You'd be like umpires. You just rotate around the league, and you're tonight's pitcher. Just like you're tonight's home plate umpire.
A designated pitcher.
Exactly. They shouldn't be part of the teams.
You think so?
Yeah. You just rotate them around like umpires.
I don't know if your proposal will be met with any kind of seriousness at Major League Baseball.
Probably not. I don't think anything I would say would be met with any seriousness in the MLB offices.
2-out walk to Lastings Millage. Let's go back a little bit here and pitch to Greg Zahn. And that's something we might have missed a little earlier. He's holding that right arm down, and he may have hurt himself there.
How about the oblique? Could have been the oblique. I'm thinking it might have been an oblique.
You think so?
Yeah.
A real oblique? Was it a designated oblique?
I used to call them like a rib cage pull, but I think the word now is oblique.
Bobby Crosby at the plate. That's high. Now this check swing drove in a run, but kind of grimacing there. The run batted in might have taken the sting out of it a little for Zahn, but he's back on the bench.
That first strike where he fouled one back, I think he might have pulled something there. I think that was the one we missed.
Crosby takes strike one.
I should save that piece of video as a proof that we will miss something occasionally up here. It doesn't happen very often.
That's good to know. We'll write that down.
Get the date.
Strike two to Crosby.
Never miss anything down the trailer, though. They are sharp.
They only miss the things we point out that they miss. They got eyes everywhere, though. Eyes and ears all over the ballpark.
I asked him about a game that was played 9 years ago.
1-2. Crosby shoots this one foul.
And within minutes, they were showing me highlights from the game on video. They're crazy good down in the fair.
And they point the cameras right at the action all the time. It's amazing. 2-2. We'll go back. Here's Brian Giles. A walk-off grand slam in game one of a doubleheader against the Astros. Now, we didn't get a chance to set this up, but we'll tell you what this is all about. It was a 7-run bottom of the ninth, correct?
Yes, it was, and that was a grand slam off Billy Wagner to win the game. And all 7 runs came with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And that feat was accomplished again this afternoon.
Brooks Conrad.
By the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, Brooks Conrad of the Braves was pinch hitting, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth to cap a 7-run bottom of the ninth, and the Braves would beat Cincinnati. Crosby strikes out, and 1 man left after 2. It's a 3-2 Bucks lead. Braves in the first of their upcoming 3-game weekend set. Greg Brown and Steve Blass have the call beginning at 7 right here on FSN Pittsburgh. Bring the game to you.
One of the all-time great managers in the game. He's going to hang it up after this year. Bobby Cox coming to PNC Park one more time.
Narveson, the pitcher. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Cox and the Braves on their way right now. They should be landing shortly in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, happy crew after that 7-run bottom of the 9th inning. 1-10-9.
Narveson knocked down by LaRoche, and Narveson's got a base hit.
Got a left-hander up, giving him a little line, trying to take away that hole. You can see it there. And a couple quick steps, just wouldn't stick in the glove. Looks like it hit right in the palm. Wouldn't stay.
He gets that in the webbing. He's got to play.
See his glove. Medium.
It's probably, what, 12 and a half inch glove?
The medium gloves of baseball.
Ricky Weeks second time around. Weeks bounced out to Pierce first time up.
The reasoning behind the little bit bigger glove than the middle infielders is he's not having to turn a double play. And that the little bit longer glove give him a little more reach. Middle infielders, they're wanting to make that exchange as quick as possible. They don't want to be searching around in a glove. Is it in the web? Is it in the palm? Where is it? When they're making a double play, so they get the little tiny gloves. And some middle infielders, that one's not too bad, but some middle infielders I've seen go to an extreme. I mean, I don't know how they get their fingers in them. They're so short. But
look like an oven mitt.
Yeah, usually that's a second baseman. Second basemen, they have a tendency to go real small with their gloves. Now that one's not very small. That one almost looks like a third baseman's glove to me. But Crosby is used to playing the other side over there as a shortstop. So I think that's probably why he doesn't have one of those little mini gloves.
Well, Bobby plays third, short, second, first. He plays all the infield positions.
Joe Morgan's glove real small.
Yeah, he had a small
glove.
glove.
Right. Yeah. Tiny thing. Yeah, he has to play everywhere. He's got to be able to play third, short. Probably doesn't want to be carrying around 3 different gloves for 3 different positions. So I would think he's using that one everywhere.
Luke strikes out. Good pitch by Mulholland. That's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Paul.
You know, might be fooled by the angle, our camera angle a little bit. It almost looks like this ball cuts a little, like it's going to run inside. May have just been a sinker, but I can have a little bit of a cut movement to it.
A lot of guys would just love to break the bat. Frustration.
Well, he needs somebody to say something to him there that he'll, as he's about to throw it, you give him one of those, get him next time.
Yeah, but doesn't that add fuel to the fire?
Well, that's
nobody wants to hear that.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah,
you're trying to push him over the edge because you want to see him, fire the bat off the wall.
They know better. He's by himself down there. No one's paying attention to him.
Well, they're missing a great opportunity for amusement. I remember, Jay Bell was my favorite, especially the best though was to get Jay after a line drive out. And you can't hit it any better than that, Jay. Give him one of those because you could see him just roasting as he walks by you. Or hey, hang with him, you hit it good. Anything like that. He can't accuse you of doing anything because you're like pulling for him. But what you're doing is you're trying to get him to go down the tunnel and break some stuff.
He's probably waiting for your next start so he'd be out of the dugout.
Which Jay would do all the time. And that would be our entertainment. You asked me what I did before we had TVs down there. There's your answer.
That's right. You made a list of lines you could irritate hitters we made outs with.
Yeah.
Probably a long list. Still, nobody talking to him.
It's Jay Bell. He was the best. He was the snapper on the team.
Escobar takes one right down the middle for strike 2.
And what was it, when you talk to Jay away from the ballpark or anytime when he's not just done hitting. He is really cool and calm and nice. And no problems. But you get him right after his at-bat.
Watch out.
Yep.
3-2. Pierce. Gloves. He's going to toss to Mulholland. Foot race. He got him at first. Would have been a tough double play ball, but they got one out. And now there are 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, I don't think they would have got 2. I agree with you. I could have got the lead runner, would have been the best he could do, which would have been good. You take the runner out of scoring position, and in a game where you're only up by 1, that's important. A few balls tonight that aren't sticking in the leather.
There's a bang play at first.
Paul did his job. He kept hustling over there.
And now Prince Fielder. Runner at second base is the pitcher Narveson. Fielder struck out swinging in the first. Right into the shift, and Bobby Crosby with the glove save.
Prince, you hit it good, man. You can't do anything else. Hang with him.
Get him next time.
We're going to take a look at that last play. And here Fielder lines out. And he looked like he looks out at Mulholland. He's looking at Prince. What the heck? I finally put one in play right at somebody.
What are you going to do?
You know what? You can't get a guy like that. See, he's already laughing. So, that takes the fun out of it. Whereas, with Jay, he would come off just steaming, and that's the different story. You can, jab him a little bit. When the guy comes out and he already realizes, hey, what are you going to do? And it takes all the fun out of it.
Sharp ground ball, and Escobar throws him out.
I was going to say, before Fielder got in there, he hit that first pitch. That was a good setup to explain what we mean by when a player gives somebody protection. Remember when we talked about the lineup and Braun, Fielder being flip-flopped so Braun could give him some protection. Let's say they got deep into account there, a 3-1 pitch. Now with Fielder up there and he strikes him out all the time, he's probably thinking with a lesser hitter behind him, I'm going to go again with that breaking ball because he doesn't handle it very well. But now with Braun in the on-deck circle, you might think twice before you do. I want to go with the breaking ball here, but, man, if I miss, it's ball 4. And then I got to deal with Braun with the tying run at second base. So maybe I'll go ahead and I'll throw a fastball. Just because you don't want to take that chance of having to face Braun with that runner in scoring position. So that's why Fielder has an opportunity, perhaps, to see some better pitches than he normally would.
Well, it's worked out so far tonight because Brian Braun has led off the second. He'll lead off in the fourth as well. So we got Braun up there, their RBI leader. You want him up there with nobody on base. Jones takes a strike. Three-two Pirates, bottom half of the third inning. 1-2 pitch. That's way upstairs. 2-2. Word on Greg Zahn, the catcher for the Brewers who left the game. Strained right shoulder. We were thinking
oblique, pinky. It turned out to be the shoulder. You were right when you said he grabbed his arm.
Well, I was on the swing of the foul ball that was straight back.
I think that's where he hurt it. I think.
Two balls, two strikes to Jones. And Narveson's pitch. Breaking ball high and inside, 3-2. Go back to Greg Zahn's first at bat. That may have been it. Look at that.
There. Now, I don't know if it was that at bat. Was it already bothering him? I don't know, but you were right when you said he grabbed his arm.
This one is going to be out of play. Third baseman McGee gave it a run. But it becomes a souvenir, and the right guy got it.
Yep. High fives all around. You notice, too, it doesn't matter how old they are. Like that young man there just smiling ear to ear. The guy that got the last foul ball was smiling ear to ear. And he wasn't a young man. It doesn't matter how old you are. Age doesn't matter. That foul ball, you get one of those, you're the happiest guy in the ballpark.
That's why guys roll around in the rows of seats and the aisleways. They'll do anything to get a ball.
Mess up $1,000 suit to get a $5 baseball.
3-2 pitch. Foul ball. Jones is making Narveson work. 9 pitches already.
Oh, he's getting his tucks.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? You're on TV.
You're on TV.
She's getting them now, too.
Yeah.
This one stays fair. And Jones is out. 2 away in the Pirate third. And Steve Pearce will come up. Pearce drove in 2 with a triple in the first inning and also scored a run, but hitting well. 3 for 4 last night. Pearce getting his swing straightened out.
Well, he was hot as a firecracker before he got called up.
Well, he's hitting .500 over his last dozen at bats. 6 out of 12. Starting his 6th game tonight since being recalled from AAA Indianapolis. Take that one for strike one.
He got some extended playing time second half of last season. It just didn't go real well for him. He had a hard time bringing up that the production that he's had in the minor leagues with the extra bases and the home runs. Just hadn't been able to do it at this level. Maybe this will be the time.
Well, AAA this year, before he was called up on the 4th of May, he was hitting .349 with 12 doubles. Oh, he's getting the calls now. Hey, you are on TV. And look, you're on TV right now.
Foul balls, let's see, I'm telling you, they're a wonderful thing.
Get all kinds of phone calls and texts. 3-1. Here's rips this one foul.
Bad defense down in the corner there.
Let's see, the ball going up, and I think it took a bad hop.
Overran it. And then for a moment there, I thought she was going to go with the bare hand. That would have been a mistake. That one was hit a little too hard.
I think she took a bad route to the ball to begin with, and then may have popped back on her. Here's to shallow right, backing up his fielder. He'll be called off by the second baseman, Weeks. Pirates go in order in the third after 3 at PNC Park. 3-2 Buccaneers. In 1999, Robin Ventura becomes the first player in Major League history to hit a grand slam in each game of a doubleheader. The Mets swept the Brewers 11-10 and 10-1. That's tonight's legendary performance, sponsored by Cabot Woodstain. Making their all-star votes. Punch out the Pirates. You're making your all-star votes. Talking about Robin Ventura and hitting the 2 grand slams. He also did it in a single game while playing for the White Sox in 1995. Ryan Braun, nobody on, nobody out. Little tapper down to third base. LaRoche one-hands it, throws, and he's got it. Nice play. Andy LaRoche, and there is one down. Steve Pearce with the put out at first base, and he made the last out of the bottom of the third. And Pearce, very intense competitor, comes around first, knows he's out, and knock knock.
Well, you know, I really think that he probably enjoys every phase of the game out there more than just about anybody else on the field. When it comes to either running the bases, swinging the bat, or just making a play with the glove. I mean, he is so intense about all of it. That's why you see him on defense. He's so active for a first baseman. He's going and trying to catch everything. He goes as far into that hole to his right as probably any first baseman that we see all year long.
Which means that pitcher better hurry up and get over to first.
He better be there for him.
I've seen it twice already
Which
tonight.
is great. I loved that. When I was playing, I wanted a first baseman to take everything he could. Even if he took a ball, you know, away from the second baseman every now and then, so what? I'm going to be there for you. I'd rather have that happen than have a first baseman assume that the second baseman was going to get a ball, go to the bag, and then have the ball just roll out into right field.
McGee walked last time up and then came around to score on the triple by Corey Hart. 3-1, Mulholland behind McGee. McGee has been one of the National League's best hitters from the third base position. And coming into the game tonight, he ranked either first or second in the National League as a third baseman in several categories. This one will make the seats, including hits with 48. That's first among third basemen. 37 RBIs, first. An on-base percentage of nearly 40%. That's also first. Second in home runs with 9. So McGee getting the job done. He and Ryan Braun have combined for 67 runs batted in. That's a base hit. Pretty solidly struck single by Casey McGee. Really, in a short period of time, has become one of the best offensive third basemen in the National League.
Yeah, as he continues to do this, he's going to earn more and more respect, and then he'll be, somebody that can give somebody else some protection in that lineup. Well, he really did. He hit that ball hard through the hole, jumped through there. LaRoche had no chance to make any kind of move for it.
And McGee is trailing only Andre Ethier of Los Angeles in runs batted in. Ethier with 38, he's on the disabled list, and now McGee's got a great opportunity to pass him while Ethier sits out. Corey Hart tripled, and he came around on the check swing roller to second base by Greg Zahn before Zahn left the ball game. Incidentally, there's a new leader in the National League Central tonight. St. Louis is back on top. They have reclaimed the Central Division lead by half a game over the Reds. Reds falling in a wild one in Atlanta today, 10-9. Braves getting the win with 7 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Walk-off grand slam was the difference. Brooks Conrad hit it. And the interesting thing about that particular play, Bob, was that the ball looked like it was going to be caught by Lance Nix, the Cincinnati left fielder. He jumped, got his glove above the wall. The ball hit his glove and went out for the game winner. St. Louis has beaten Florida today 4-2. So the Cardinals win, Reds lose. Cardinals back on top by half a game. And the interesting thing too about Conrad is that he actually turned around after he went across first base. He thought the ball was caught, put his hands on his head as if to say, oh no. He turns around, he sees his teammates pouring out of the first base dugout, realizes that the ball went out, so he spins around 180 degrees and then takes the Cadillac trot about as fast as he could.
I'm sure there was a nice reception waiting for him. Got all the way around.
Go to first base, and McGee leading the other way.
Like he was going.
So currently the standings look like this. Incidentally, the Cubs losing in Philadelphia today. Phillies coming back to beat them late 5-4. The Pirates have a chance to slip past the Cubs into third place in the standings if they can beat Milwaukee tonight. John Russell likes where the Pirates are this year in the standings as opposed to last year at this time.
Well, the Pirates have been playing much better of late, that's for sure. And really an opportunity here at the homestand after having a 3-2 road trip to really get some damage and get some momentum going. Some real momentum. I mentioned last night that, it's not going too far out on a limb to say that we could go 4-1 on the homestand after going 3-2 on the road. That would be fantastic. If you could win tonight, take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. I mean, that's doable.
And Hart walks, and now the tying run has moved into scoring position with McGee going down to second.
Can't look too far ahead, though. Got to concentrate on tonight.
Well, if you're traveling this season, take the Pirates with you and watch other games as well. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Pirates game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. In fact, I watched that.
It's amazing.
That Braves comeback on that today.
That is a great thing. Wherever you're at, watch whatever game you want. Phenomenal.
My laptop up here, we had the game on and got to watch that, then switched over to see another game after that. That is off the glove of Pierce, and this is now trouble for the Pirates. McGee scores to tie it. Hart will be held at third. And it's a 3-3 ball game. 1 out, second and third for the Brewers.
Just off. I think I might have tipped the glove of Pierce. Thought I heard something in the crowd mic as that went by. Inside corner. Oh, yeah. Most definitely did tip the glove.
George Gutierrez seems to hit the Pirates well. He hit a home run into the bushes here last time he had it bad at PNC Park.
A game of inches, isn't it? I mean, look how that turns that around. Just off the end of the glove, a little tick. An inch closer, could be a line drive, double play, you're in the dugout.
Well, now Paul's got to do his best with the bottom of the order. Adam Stern has struck out. He's the 8-hitter. And Chris Narveson, the pitcher, who does have a hit already, is out on deck.
Think about Steve. He's a very active first baseman, likes to move around. He can get just about anything. Has good quickness, but he's not the tallest first baseman you'll run across in the league.
Pitch to Stern. Ground ball to second. Going to get a run in. And the Brewers now are on top. 4-3 as Stern drives in a run with a ground ball out. Hart comes across. That's a tough one to take right there.
Yeah, if you're Paul, you're not real happy right now.
It's the guy he walked. Comes around to score on a ground ball. Gutierrez down to third. 2 outs, and Narveson with an opposite field single off the glove of third baseman Andy LaRoche, his first time up. 1 for 1 tonight. Brewers with their first lead of the game. 4 runs on 4 hits for Milwaukee, 3 runs on 4 hits for the Pirates. Pirates have won 3 straight against Milwaukee. Milwaukee this year 4-3 against the Pirates, 6-12 against the Central Division. And an even 500 on the road at 11-11. We told you last night it's been a big story around baseball. 4-14 at home. Brewers are looking to avoid their 9th losing streak of at least 10 games in franchise history. Up in the air, foul ground. Andy LaRoche gives chase. LaRoche will watch it go over the dugout. And all smiles around the foul ball.
Oh, yeah. Go for the strikeout here. Don't even let him put it in play.
2-2 the count. Mahalo trying to get Narveson right here. Brewers with 2 runs in the second. One of them was a walk to Casey McGee that came around. And then the walk to Corey Hart. He's come around. So Paul hasn't helped himself with the walks tonight. 2-2 pitch. Narveson strikes out.
Beautiful.
4th strikeout for Mahalam. 2 runs come in, and the Brewers have taken the lead. trivia question brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Roberto Clemente won his first of 4 batting titles in 1961. To whom did he give the silver bat? AT&T Mobility, rethink possible. Huh? What do you think? When you get the batting title, you get the silver bat, and he gave it to somebody. There's Andy LaRoche starting the Pirate half of the 4th, now trailing in the game for the first time, 4-3.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Son, maybe?
Could be anybody. Well, not anybody.
Father, maybe?
One and one. And now it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to Andy LaRoche. This year,
Danny Murtaugh, maybe?
Oh, it's a good guess. Right out in front of the mound, Narveson retires LaRoche, and there's one away. Oh, that's a good guess, Bob. But I'm sure there are.
Grandfather? I'm thinking he gave it to some family member. That'll be. I know that's not what we're looking for, but that's the best I can do. I'll go with a family member. Are you going to have a guess, or do you already know?
I don't know. I'm not going to guess either.
Boy, come on.
I'm trying to think. Who might he have given it to? Ronnie Cedeno. I didn't mean he gave it to Ronnie Cedeno.
That was his first one. You would have thought he would have kept it.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
Shallow center field. Stern with a catch, 2 down.
I'm trying to think his son, how old he is right now. See, I am 50. I was born in 56. So 53, 49, whatever it is. I don't know. I already made my guess. I'm going to stick with it because it's a wide-ranging guess. Includes a lot of different people, so I'm going to go family member.
Next time I see Kent Tekulve, I'm going to ask him. He'll know.
I think it'll be too late, though, won't it, for our purposes? Because you're going to see it on the screen and anything.
Timing is everything.
Unless Teak can.
So Tex in the booth here in the next minute.
Well, he could text you, maybe. Why do you think Teak knows of? Teak wasn't there in 61.
Yeah, but he knows all that stuff. You weren't looking at the screen, were you?
No,
because they had the promo for Ask Teak on the screen.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Ask Teak. There you go.
Here's the 0-2. And that's back to the screen. Stays 0-2 to Jason Jaramillo. Jaramillo bounced out to Narveson in the second inning, 0 for 1.
I'm going to go next door and ask Blas. That's where I'm.
He would know. He would know. And that's through for a base hit. 2-out single for Jaramillo. That'll bring up Paul Mulholland.
Breaking ball down. Jaramillo, when he gets an opportunity, he contributes. Being a backup catcher to somebody that's a big part of the offense, you just don't get that many opportunities. It's tough to keep yourself ready, but he's done it.
Mulholland was upset last time. He struck out looking. Went back steaming mad to the dugout. Looking for his first hit of 2010. He's 0 for 17. Talked to Paul the other day and talked about hitting. He was reminded about his home run he hit on Mother's Day. That's going to be certainly one of his highlights. Mother's Day of last year against the Mets. And he puts it in play. Slow roller to Escobar. And he will throw out Mulholland. And that is the 3rd out. So we're through 4 at PNC Park. 4-3 Milwaukee. Steve Pearce 1 for 2 with a 2-run triple. And to the Roach. RBI double also in the first, but Corey Hart 1 for 1. He had an RBI triple right up the center field wall. 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth for Milwaukee. Pirates had their 3 in the first, and it's a 4-3 Milwaukee lead as we start the top half of the 5th inning. And the top of the order is due up. Ricky Weeks with Bob Walk, Tim Neverett. Glad you're along tonight watching Pirates baseball. Pirates winning game 1 of this 2-game set last night, trying to take 2 of 2 from the Brew Crew. Atlanta comes in tomorrow night. Tim Hudson and Ross Ollendorf, the pitching matchup. That's game 1 of a 3-game weekend set. And Weeks a swing and a miss. Weeks is 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the third. You go back to the first inning. He bounced out to Steve Pearce at first base. Weeks started the season with a career-high 10-game hitting streak. It was the 3rd time he'd had a 10-game hitting streak. And became only the 5th player in Brewers history to begin the season with a hitting streak of at least 10 games. Now it's been streaking the other way for Weeks and the Brewers. Losers of 9 straight games. Brewers start tonight 15 and 25.
Now Weeks is starting to have those strikeouts pile up too. 52 now on the year. 1 strike away from maybe number 53.
Holland throws him out. 1 away. Well, we answered the trivia question last half inning.
And you didn't guess.
I didn't guess. I don't have it.
Bob.
I could have used a better hint than that. I could have used a hint. Let's see. Well, I'll give you the answer now.
The
I think
gunner. You gave it to the gunner. All right.
And now I remember the story. Top of the 5th, 1 man up. Alcides Escobar 0 for 2. Pair of groundouts. 500 in the series, though. Had a good night last night. 3 hits.
I feel like the way the trailer gives a little hints like that. Just
our handlers and the trainer?
Yeah, our handlers.
Yeah, I like that.
They just lead us around, don't they?
Give me the wrong hint. All right. AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Clemente wins his first of 4 batting titles in 1961. To whom did he give the silver bat? Bob Prince. Pirates Hall of Fame broadcaster got it. Now, I do recall the story.
I think Teak would have known that.
Ground ball to third. That is going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, I'm sure Steve knew it also. The Clemente wall. 21 feet high, right field wall here at PNC Park.
Oh, 2. That was bounce foul. I was talking to Cubs radio announcer Pat Hughes the other day when we were in Chicago, and he puts out CDs of all the Hall of Fame broadcasters and their great moments and things like that. And he talked to me before the game, said he's going to be working on one on Bob Prince. And that we will be the first to know when it's ready. 0-2. That's high.
Should do well here in Pittsburgh.
I don't think so. One-two pitch. This one's fouled back into the screen. 1-2. That's the count to Alcides Escobar. 1 man out. Very shallow and left is Lastings Milledge. And the 1-2. Strike 3 called. Got him. Strikeout number 5 for Paul.
When Escobar hit in the 9th inning, I have never seen a left fielder play as shallow as Milledge was. A little paint right on the inside corner.
James Hoy.
Strike 3.
Like it when the umpires leave no doubt.
Yeah, that's the way you want it called.
Prince Fielder takes a strike. Fielder is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and then lined out to Bobby Crosby, who's out there in short right field. Hit it right at him. 0-1. And he's late on this one. 0-2. So Paul ahead of the Prince again, and we'll see if he can finish him off.
He's late because he's worried about that breaking ball. So he decided just to make somebody smile. Right out here.
0-2 pitch fouled back. I mean, that pitch may have been up by his jaw. Let's see. He chased the high ball.
That was higher than I thought it was at first. That was like Bill of the Cap high. Wow. How did he foul that one off?
Again, the 0-2 pitch from Mahalo. Got him to pop up. And Andy LaRoche calling for it. And that will do it. Fielder 0 for 3. 1-2-3 go the Brewers in the fifth. We're halfway home at PNC Park. Brewers 4, Pirates 3. Scenery outside the ballpark. Bottom half of the fifth. Lastings Millage leading off against Chris Narveson. Narveson gave up 3 in the first. Has settled down since. Facing 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. And Millage goes down the right field side, and that'll slice foul. Millage looking for some more thrillage, and it's about time that Pirates get a base runner again off of Narveson. And he's done it. That's down to left. That's going to kick back into the field of play. And Millage, an easy double.
Now, if Braun gambled there and thought that it was going to kick, he could have went right straight to the baseball and held Millage to a single. But that's a big gamble, because if it doesn't hit the stands and it gets down in the corner, he might turn this into a triple. So he went deep just in case, and that made it an easy double. So kind of a decision that every left-hander has to, or every left fielder has to make when that ball's hit hard down toward the corner. Is it going to come off the stands, or should I head to the foul pole?
Tying run in scoring position for Bobby Crosby. Crosby laid down a successful sacrifice bunt last night. Will the Pirates play small ball, or will they let Bobby hit away? A little activity going on now in the Pirates bullpen. Nobody warming up, just some stirring going on.
It's like Christmas Eve. Stirring. Not even a mouse.
Crosby, full cut.
He's trying to hit the ball to the right side. His job is to get the runner over. And a base hit that way with a little frosting on the cake.
Shortened up on the bat just a little. 0-1 pitch. Went to the right, but a little bit too much to the right. Well out of play. 0-2 the count to Crosby. Millage a leadoff double. 9th double of the season for Lastings. Crosby trying to get him in. McCutchen on deck. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. 0-2. That's back to Narveson, and Millage is hung up. Now he's in a rundown. Crosby's going to replace him at second base. Millage has to give himself up. So 1 down and a runner at second base as Lastings Millage is caught on the base paths.
An initial mistake. He doesn't make sure this ball is by the pitcher before he breaks, but after he realizes it now, he does a great job of staying alive, letting Crosby get to second base. And now when Crosby's there, to avoid any confusion, he just lets him go ahead and tag him.
You've got to give himself up once the job is done, and his job was done at that point once Crosby replaces him at second. So now he represents the tying run. And there is a hot shot to short. They're going to third, and Crosby's hung up.
Can't do it. You cannot do that. We saw it a number of times in last night's game. One time a runner made it, but that doesn't make it right. You got to hold up until that ball is through. You're not going to score, but there's only 1 out. So instead of having first and third 1 out, now you're first base with 2 outs.
Well, the Pirates had and still have an opportunity with a tying run aboard. Garrett Jones up, but poor base running has erased 2 runners off second.
I got on my soapbox last night on the radio about base running in general at the major league level, how poor it is. I'm not going to do it again tonight, but it just you watch a game on TV or whatever, and you're going to see base running mistakes. Just guys trying to go to third on ground balls to the left side, making the third out at third base.
1-1 to Jones. Gary Varsho talking to Lastings Millage.
There'll be something in every game. Crosby right there, he needed to freeze and wait to see if that ball makes it in the left field. When it gets to left field, when he sees it in the outfield grass, then he can run on over to third. Varsho talking to Millage about the play where he got hung up. As I said, Millage initially did not wait to make sure the ball got by the pitcher, but then he did just a great job in getting in that rundown. Millage, who is a very good athlete anyway, he should be able to do what he did. Get him to throw the ball a couple of times and allow the other runner to come all the way around and then take your place, and then it's no harm, no foul.
Pirates down by a run. Garrett Jones had a home run in the Chicago series. That's his last one. Ricky Weeks picks it and throws out Jones, and what started off as a very promising inning ends up with a 0. 4-3 after 5. kids 14 and under will get those, courtesy of Mrs. T's. There they are.
Look how fast they are. Look at the feet.
I mean,
look at that. Look how
blazing speed.
Oh, man, do they move.
That's right. Kids get to run the bases after the game, brought to you by HK Pretzels. For tickets to this Kids Sunday game or any other Kids Sunday game, Pirates.com. Cheese Chester, he was your winner tonight. Ryan Braun leads off the top of the 6th inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Braun is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice to Andy LaRoche at third base. One of his 2 hits in the series, a bunt base hit last night in the 9th. Mulholland fires. And that's a strike in the corner, 1-1. Well, should I ask you about the running last inning or let it go?
That's over.
Let it go?
Yeah. Got me a fresh cup of coffee.
Oh, so now you're feeling better.
We're turning the page. We got 4 innings left to take this one from the Brewers.
Hey, knock it off, kid. Two 2-1. That's the count to Ryan Braun, the left fielder. He will take that one low. 3 balls and a strike. Braun at .338. 52 hits. Second in the National League behind Atlanta's Martin Prado in that category. Up in the air to left. Millage camping underneath it. Braun is gone. He's 0 for 3.
That's trouble in Milwaukee. That's right there in front of their bullpen. Seems like there's a little vacuum there. And Milwaukee just kind of sucks those balls that direction.
Well, when the roof's closed,
yeah, it's not very deep, but
you never know which way that air conditioning's pointing either from the other side.
But here, with a 383 straight away and a 410 in that corner, no cheapies.
You know which ballpark it really flies out of that has a retractable roof? That's Arizona, left center field. That roof is closed.
Left, right, down the line, dead center.
All the air conditioning pointing out.
It doesn't matter where you hit one there.
Casey McGee, he's been a tough hitter. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Beltro's won all the Dome stadiums. Good. Flies out of Houston well.
Yeah.
At least it used to before this year when the Astros quit hitting.
To right field, down the line and foul. Did you see the news today on the Astros? They released second baseman Kaz Matsui. Matsui had a problem with the right knee. Took a foul ball off the knee, never recovered. The Astros losing at home right now in the 4th inning to the Colorado Rockies 3-0. Two and two. And the pitch to Casey McGee from Paul Mulholland. Strike 3 call. Nice looking pitch. Paul's racking up some strikeouts tonight. That's number 6.
And I really do like Hoy's call. That is very good. I never really noticed till tonight. It's one of my favorite. Gives the double punch. Watch the double punch. Listen. Strike 3. But it doesn't really say strike 3. It's kind of like, hey.
Paul's got a strikeout an inning. I like it. It's a good combination move. Left-right combo.
Yeah. But he doesn't like move all over the place. He doesn't like take 2 or 3 steps before he does it.
Because a strike.
If it becomes too involved, then after like 5 or 6 innings, you might get a little winded and stop calling so many strike 3s.
You think these guys go over the mechanics of this often when they practice this? Because each guy's is unique.
Yeah,
when they punch a guy out.
I would think so. I mean, I think everybody kind of has a little something like that as a player. You know, you think about your wind-up, what you look like as you're looking in. Should I bend over? Should I stand up? Have the ball in my hand? Should I keep it in my glove?
Rush out of his glove and on to Steve Pearce. And the Brewers are done in order in the 6th. Paul Mulholland gets them 3 in a row. Steve Pearce right into the north side notch. 2 runs come in. He rounds second and goes to third for his first triple of the season. It's tonight's Play That Made Us Smile, brought to you by our friends at Aspen Dental. And Pearce will start things off in the Pirates' 6th, trailing 4-3 to Chris Narveson and the Brewers. Takes strike 1. Narveson settled down pretty well after giving up 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom half of the first inning. And Pearce 1-1 now. Steve popped out to the second baseman Ricky Weeks in the 3rd inning, so he is 1 for 2. Talk about a difference in plate discipline. That pitch there last season, Bob, Steve may have chased that one. He went after the pitch that was off the edge a number of times. As a result, got himself into deeper counts and would strike out more. Pierce again to left, but Braun is there. And the Pirates have 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Time to check out tonight's The Home Depot doing more on defense.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here. LaRoche handling a real tough hop. It looks pretty routine right there, but watch this. Watch the last bounce actually comes up on him real hard right there, and he funnels it perfectly right up to his stomach and makes the play look easy.
The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Speaking of funnels, by the way, I've changed it all in the car today. And the funnel was all old and yucky and everything. Went out to the Home Depot and they had a plethora of funnels.
You did?
Yeah. Got a couple nice ones. 2 different sizes. I love the Home Depot.
So I could have used a funnel today. I was putting gas in the mower and found I have a hole in the nozzle in the gas tank. Got gas everywhere. Toward the middle. Alcides Escobar throwing on a run, and he's got Andy. 2 men are out.
Got a Home Depot out there by you somewhere, don't you?
Sure. Big orange building.
Love those stores.
So 2 down for Ronnie Cedeno, the shortstop. He's 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of flyouts. 1 to Prince Fielder in the first, and then in the 4th inning, he flied out to the center fielder, Adam Stern. And will take a strike.
That first inning, the Brewers had. Well, the first inning when they were out there on defense, and the Pirates picked up 3 runs.
Cedeno's got a base hit.
Was a little on the long side. Narveson had to throw a ton of pitches in that first inning, and it's going to have an effect in this game. He's over 100 now, and they're going to have to think about getting him out of there soon.
There is double barrel action in the Milwaukee pen. Todd Coffey, number 60 in the foreground, and the lefty Mitch Stetter warming up.
I was trying to think it was a play or something that extended that inning, made him throw a bunch more pitches. Oh, I know what it was. It was the double play. McCutchen breaking up
the double play.
Yeah, getting a good jump off of first base when it was first and second. We gave him all kinds of, or I did, props for allowing us to score those 3 runs and extending that inning so that we could get him up there. And now I'm giving him more props. He made Narveson throw a ton more pitches than he would have. And right now he's at 106, trying to fight through the 6th inning.
Well, Coors Light 6th inning. Let's check out the Coors Light freeze can. Garrett Jones at the plate. There's a ground ball to Weeks. Weeks flips to Escobar, and a nice takeout right here by Andrew McCutchen. Talk about some air.
And how much did he get on that throw, too? That was incredible.
Wow. Freeze can brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
It was a frozen rope across the infield and had no feet on the ground. Couldn't push off.
Romeo takes a strike. Jason had a base hit in the 4th.
The point I was making, not only did we get the 3 runs, he had to throw another 15 to 20 pitches after that. So he'd be sitting on about 90 right now instead of 107. Could easily then go another inning. And they need guys to go deep into the ball game because their bullpen has been pitching so poorly of late. So
let's not forget the ball that McCutchen hit to left field that Ryan Braun inexplicably backed up on instead of coming in for. That allowed McCutchen to reach. So he had a big impact in spite of the fact he never made it past second base. Andrew McCutchen, a big reason the Pirates were able to get 3 that inning. Javier Lopez is up. 2-2 to Jason Jaramillo.
Brendan Donnelly activated before the ball game. It's good to see him tonight.
He has been bugging John Russell for a couple of days, saying, I'm ready. Am I going in tonight? John would say no. And I'd come back the next night and say, Skip, I'm ready to go. Can I go tonight? John Russell would fold his arms just like Donnelly just did. And he'd say no. And finally he got the word that today's the day. Donnelly going through his pregame routine earlier today. Glad to be back out there knowing that he's on the active roster. He's been good out of the pen. And the Pirate relievers have been very good. The question remains now, how does he get used? As we've seen Meek in the 7th inning, Hanrahan in the 8th, Dotel in the 9th. Shallow right field for Corey Hart. And that'll do it for the Pirates. So strand a man. We're through 6. Heading to the 7th. And Terrace, Stern, and Narveson spot coming up. 3 heading to the top half of the 7th inning at PNC Park. With Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neville. Got all the gadgets, the camera, the cell phone. Here's the catcher, George Gutierrez. Doubled in the 4th inning. He takes a strike. Paul Mulholland starting the 7th inning, trailing by a run. Milwaukee 4 runs on only 4 hits. Pirates 3 runs on 7 hits. Gutierrez replaced Greg Zaun after Zaun's at bat in the 2nd inning. Zaun out with a right shoulder strain. So Gutierrez, backup catcher. One and two.
He only has 40 at bats on the season. Not very many. But 10 RBIs.
One ball, 2 strike offering. That's outside. 2 and 2.
Got a better RBI. Wait, no. Scratch that. Never mind.
What were you going to say?
No, well, I'm not going to say it now. I was about to say something dumb. For once, I caught myself.
Now 3 straight balls delivered by Mulholland, and that fills up the count at 3 and 2. Gutierrez last year with the Boston Red Sox started 25 games, appeared in 45. Pops it up, foul and out of play. Gutierrez was primarily the catcher for Tim Wakefield. Caught the knuckleballer. He was behind the plate for 18 of Wakefield's starts.
He's used to the big glove. Knuckleballers. They use a glove about the size of a basket.
Brewers announcer Bob Uecker's famous line about that is when he was asked how to catch a knuckleball, he said, wait till it stops rolling and pick it up. Yep. Uecker doing well, by the way, after heart surgery. He's not working this series, and he'll be working for a little while longer, but he thinks he's going to be back sooner than later. At the end of April, that was his last game, that 14-inning game we had on the 28th of April in Milwaukee. It was his last game before having a valve replaced. Sounds like going to the shop, you know.
That's what I thought when you say he had a valve replaced. I'm thinking
check the carburetor out,
overhead cam, and that sort of thing.
And Gutierrez walks, and Mulholland's got to be alarmed with that after starting him out 0-2. Time for our easy-to-use.com minor league connection. Everybody in action today, and well, they're paused right now in the bottom of the 4th inning in Indy. Ryan Myro having a good night, 2 for 2. But the Indians trailing Scranton. Altoona played early today and defeated Akron 2-1. Chase Darno, a couple of hits. And Bradenton, bottom of the 7th inning, leading Clearwater 6-3. Last year's top draft choice, Tony Sanchez, the catcher for the Bradenton Marauders, turned 22 today. Nobody out. Gutierrez at first. Adam Stern, the hitter, called up on Sunday. Took the spot of Doug Davis on the roster. Davis went on the disabled list, and now Stern up from Nashville. He's hitting .349 with a home run and 4 runs batted in 12 games with Nashville. Comebacker to second for 1. Back to first. Double play.
Beautifully done, Paul. That's the place this play always gets messed up, and that's the pitcher's throw. Chest high, perfectly done. It looks like such a simple thing for a pitcher who makes a living throwing the ball to just turn and toss a strike back to the shortstop, but that is one of the most messed up throws you'll ever see when pitchers have to turn and throw to second.
Well, look who's at the plate. A pitcher, Giovanni Gallardo, starting pitcher. Ken Maka runs him out there to pinch hit. Needs a right-handed pinch hitter. And on the bench tonight doesn't have one. Council, England, and Garrett are the remaining players on the bench. Gutierrez came in for Zahn, and all of them left-handed hitters. So Ken Maka decides to go with his best hitting pitcher, Giovanni Gallardo, to pinch hit for Chris Narveson.
2 outs, nobody on. I can certainly understand why he doesn't want to burn one of his regular pinch hitters. Send Gallardo up there. He certainly has a little pop in his bat. We've had a taste of that.
Hit a home run against the Pirates last year in a 1-0 game.
And 1-0. Complete game.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Giovanni Gallardo. Here is the pitch from Mulholland. Strike 3 call. And Paul has struck out 7, 1 every inning. Stretch time at PNC. Doug Melvin, in the Good Word Part 2, said, I don't see any reason to dismiss Maka at this time. I see reasons to work together and try to get some wins. Everybody wants to fire everybody, but I talked to Mark Antanasio, the owner, and Ken Maka every day. You have to go out and do your business, and all you've got to do is continue to work hard.
Well, it's still very early in the year to be talking about changing managers, I think. You know, what got this all started was probably Kansas City, and they were unhappy, I guess, with the way they started. They pulled the trigger on their manager, and now it seems like Maka's on the hot seat. But I mean, we're not even in Memorial Day yet. Way early to be hitting the panic button. John Axford now in the game.
The mustachioed one pitched a perfect inning of relief last night.
Got a good fastball. In the mid-90s.
Faced Delwyn Young hitting for Paul Mulholland. Mulholland went 7. 4 earned runs on 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 7.
I remember last night, I don't know if it's still in the notes or not, I have a neat little story about Ashford's first big league save last year.
Yeah, he saved it for Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, and that kind of his first major league save was for the all-time saves leader, Trevor Hoffman. Something you can remember.
Yeah. Mulholland with a season-high 7 strikeouts tonight. And Delwyn Young takes
that save came in the last year's last game of the season against the Cardinals.
Yeah, Hoffman ended up getting the win. Wasn't the plan. He wanted to get something else when he came out there, but didn't work out that way. But he got the W, and Axford got the save. And I think that's one that he'll remember. I mean, he's a pitcher, and those types of things are very important to them.
He'll remember definitely his whole life. My first save was for Trevor Hoffman. I mean, that's a neat thing to be able to say.
I don't know, would you say the mustache is
excellent?
Somewhat like Doug Graybeck, or
excellent. No, not like Doug's.
Is it more like yours?
Doug's was well groomed. That one's a little on the wild side. It's a little sticking out a little different directions. Doug always kept his very neat. See, you get some long hairs coming down there.
2-2 to Young. Fouls it back. Well, if he had the mullet, I might say he was more like you, but he's got shorter hair.
Yeah, you don't see that hair going down the back
last
very
night
often anymore. It'll come back, though.
Glass last night said he looked like Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah, he does. Maybe a little darker hair.
He said he was the best bad guy in the movies.
It was the bad and the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's right. Fistful of dollars. A few dollars more. I don't know. Maybe he died in one of those, didn't he?
I don't. Yeah, well, I know he died at the end of Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Well, I gave it away if you haven't seen it.
I was going to bring up Old Yeller, too. What happened in that one? 2-2. Young watches it just off the edge. 3-2.
I've never seen that movie.
Well,
I don't want to. Don't tell me. I don't
okay.
want. You know, I'm very sensitive.
Don't want to get you emotional. Full count, nobody out. And Delwyn Young trying to get aboard here. Pirates trailing by a run. Bottom of inning number 7. And he struck him out.
There's that good fastball I told you about. Gets it up around the leathers. 94.
Well, if you missed anything from this game, tune in later. We've got the perfect solution for you. You can get Pirates Instant Replay. It's all the runs, hits, and action from this game in just 2 hours. Pirates Instant Replay tonight at 11 right here on FSN. Hastings will go home and he'll watch his double again.
Yeah, that's another thing we didn't mention. We were talking about MLB.com or .tv.
Yep.
Is they have archives. You can go back and watch a game that happened last week if you want. Really a neat deal.
Everything from opening day to the end of the season. And the off season's neat too. Go back in the off season, pick out games you want to watch. They're available all year long. Then they clean them out once opening day comes around. 0-1 to Milledge. Milledge still looking for his first home run. John Russell was asked about that in the pregame press conference today, and he still feels the power is going to come.
Well, he didn't like that last call. I'm with him. I think that was off the plate a little bit. Looks like they're going away again. Or they wanted to, but just kind of went straight upstairs at 96.
Well, Axford can throw hard. Canadian from Ontario, Port Dover. To the right side. And Milledge is out. 2 men are out in the Pirates' 7th. Pirates take on the Braves tomorrow at 7:05, and all fans will receive an Andrew McCutchen canvas photo wrap at the gates, courtesy of Trib Total Media. Be sure to collect the first canvas wrap in the series of 3. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. And if you're asking what a canvas photo wrap is, it's like a portrait.
Yeah, it's like
nice.
a little oil painting.
There it is, right there.
It's just a canvas on a frame, just like you would get like a small painting. Really a neat deal.
Crosby takes a fastball, strike 1. Bobby got a hit in the first, struck out in the second. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Axford just continues to pump in strikes. He had the perfect 8th inning last night and is on his way again tonight.
Well, they're looking for some help in that bullpen. Maybe this is the guy.
He was called up Saturday from AAA Nashville.
You just get called up and you're already throwing, and with one run leads, 7th inning. And they're searching, and this is an opportunity for him.
Gets called up on Saturday and had to face the Philadelphia Phillies right away, working in relief. Crosby off the fists, and that'll go over the first base dugout and into the Brewers dugout.
He'll come back out. Somebody will get it tossed to him.
Brad Fisher, third base coach, turned around and made a new friend. 1-2 to Crosby. Axford throwing some heat right now. 1-2. Struck him out. Another perfect inning for Axford in relief. On to the 8th. It's a 1-run game.
Brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day.
This day in Pirates history brought to you by our friends at Day Automotive. May 20th, 1978. Willie Stargell hits a 535-foot home run off Expos pitcher Wayne Twitchell in a 6-0 victory at Montreal. It's the longest home run in Olympic Stadium history, and also Stargell's 407th career home run, tying him with Duke Snider on the career all-time list.
Just about every stadium you go into, there's a little spot marked, or at least in the old stadiums, where Willie had hit a ball. I remember the Olympic Stadium, they had it way, way back in there. They had that seat painted yellow.
Jeff Karsten's the new pitcher, batting in the number 2 spot. Delwyn Young staying in the game, hitting 9.
That was on my baseball bucket list, by the way.
It was, huh?
Yes, last year we were up there. I went out and I sat in that seat. I always wanted to see what it was like. And that was a long way from home plate. I was just imagining somebody hitting a ball up there. I went out there like during batting practice to sit.
Weeks to right. Jones retires him, 1 down in the Brewer 8th.
Of course, speaking of the last year in Montreal, they weren't going too well there. They'd go through about 4 lock gates to get out there. There wasn't a whole lot of people sitting out that way. Karsten's numbers this season. He really picked this up in that start against the Brewers. Remember that? Just kind of one of the, or maybe the low point of the season. Early on for the Pirates, it was really scuffling. Couldn't seem to get anything going on offense or pitching wise.
Back on the 27th of April, Pirates had lost the first game of that series. A lopsided victory, and then Karstens came in and settled him down, and he gets Escobar to ground out to Cedeno, 2 away.
I think we just come from
much
Houston.
needed.
I think we'd gotten swept in Houston, and we've gotten beat up here by Milwaukee, and really needed something good. And Karstens came up huge for us.
And now John Russell is going to come out and get Jeff Karstens. Karstens has done his job getting Weeks and Escobar, the right-handed hitters. And now the big lefty, Prince Fielder, comes up, and Javier Lopez will be called upon to get him out. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. Braves and Pirates tomorrow starting at 6:30. Tim Hudson and Ross Ollendorf. And Derek Lowe takes on Charlie Morton Saturday. And Sunday afternoon, Chris Medlin and Zach Duke. That's the Toyota road ahead. Left-hander Javier Lopez to face Prince Fielder.
Lopez has been excellent. He's the only lefty out there now, though.
Jack Tashner placed on the disabled list today with a tight left hamstring. And Donnelly reactivated. One ball, no strikes. Pitch inside. Fielder is 1 for 2 off of Lopez, and that one was a solo home run. Lopez has walked Fielder twice in their brief career meetings. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Here's the pitch, and a chopper to the left side. This is going to be trouble, and a base hit as he goes against the shift. And a 2-out single for Prince Fielder.
He's having a tough time with these balls sticking in that glove. That one pops right out. I don't know if he's going to be able to throw anybody out or not. No opportunities. Wouldn't stay for him. Well, he might have got caught a little in between there. I think originally he was thinking about going bare hand and then changed his mind, went to the glove. That could have been part of the problem.
Pirates a run down here in the 8th. Braun with a man on. First time that's happened for Braun. Braun has led off in the 2nd, in the 4th, and in the 6th. Grounded out to the Roach twice and then flied out to Lastings Millage in the 6th inning. Ryan Braun out of the University of Miami. Takes that one way inside. Casey McGee. When you look at the Brewers' offense with Braun, who normally hits 3rd, then Fielder, who normally hits 4th, and then McGee hitting fifth. That's a pretty good punch. 2-1. I don't know that if the Brewers expected the type of offense they're getting out of McGee. I think they thought he'd be pretty good. That's why they went out and got him.
Very pleasant surprise. Very happy with it, I'm sure.
Right back to Lopez. And Braun is 0 for 4. Pirates looking for a run. Trailing 4-3 as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. McCutchen, Jones, and Pierce coming up. Runs, then we'll see Octavio Dotel come out. He's the subject of our PNC achievement for the Achiever in Us All. Last 8 innings pitched. 6 for 6 in saves. 12 strikeouts over his last 8 appearances. Octavio Dotel hoping to get an opportunity to get a save here tonight. Now Axford will pitch to McCutchen. And he delivers a strike. A breaking ball that time.
As hard as he was throwing last inning. I wouldn't blame McCutchen for looking fastball on that first pitch.
McCutchen 1 for 3. There it is. Big cut on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
The way he's throwing him, he tempted to. If he gets through this inning, then let him just run right back out there for the 9th. He is rushing it up there pretty hard tonight.
Count stays 0-2. Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. We go back to Miller Park in Milwaukee on the 28th in a 14-inning game. Home run number 1 and home run number 2. A 2-bomb day for McCutchen. And he's hit all of his home runs on the road. None here at PNC Park. That's the Cold Hard Blast, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. McCutchen would love a Cold Hard Blast right about now. 0-2. Axford's been tough, though. Milwaukee right-hander delivers. 1-2.
Yeah, right now, I don't think McCutchen's thinking about anything but avoiding the strikeout, get something put in play. As this guy's dealing. He's got him in a hole, 1-2.
Count even a 2-2. Right now, 2 Pirates warming up. Brendan Donnelly getting loose. Evan Meek appears to be ready. 2-2. McCutcheon hits this one in the air to center field. Stern makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Garrett Jones. And this is a better matchup. Jones loves hard fastballs from right-handers. Although he's improved a little hitting off of lefties, he knows he still needs to improve hitting for power off left-handed hitters. But he just as soon see a hard-throwing right-hander up there.
Yeah, well, he can guess a little bit now. He can guess, go after a fastball, try to drive it for at least extra bases because we're kind of running out of time. We need somebody to pound one, especially now. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. The guy throws hard. Gets fastball out over the plate and swing a little early. See if he can get one wet.
1-0 pitch. Got it by him at 95.
Not early enough. Well, you can kind of sell out on a fastball on this count with this pitcher. Probably a little higher than he would have liked it.
Let that one go for a strike.
Yeah, can't guess now. Now you just have to protect.
One out, nobody on. The 1-2 pitch from Axford. And Jones taps a foul. Saturday night, a big night, as it's Garrett Jones action figurine night at the gates, courtesy of Dick's Sporting Goods. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday, where all fans receive a scratch card good for prizes from Eaton Park.
Size that bicep. Those are some big arms.
Pirates.com for ticket information.
We've had a chance to look at, handle that figurine a little bit, and it is so huge. The arms, it makes it, well, it's supposed to look like kind of like a character. Arms like that, it could hit one all the way on the other side of the river. Wouldn't be trying to get it wet.
There's an action figure right there. To the right side, Weeks. 2 down.
Weeks came up, ball stayed down. Almost let that one spur between the legs.
Steve Pearce's turn. Pierce drove in 2 runs in the first inning with his first triple of the season. He's 1 for 3. Having a good series. Watches that one come in low. Ball 1. 1 ball. No strikes to Steve Pearce.
Okay, same thing. You're in that 1-0 count. Go ahead. What the heck? Guess fastball and try to hit it in the seats.
Outside.
Do it again. 2-0. You really have to, be picky though. I mean, not only guess fastball, but in a spot where you can really handle it. There's 2 outs, nobody on. Drive it.
3-0. Roach on deck. And Pierce a pitch away from getting down to first base. Andy had a double, driving in a run in the first. And he walked him on 4 straight pitches. 2-out walk to Pierce. And really, that's the only bump we've seen out of Axford in his 2 appearances.
Pierce did a good job of not chasing any of those high fastballs. Axford's had a little bit of help out there. We've been swinging at those high pitches.
Tark Coffey getting back up for the Brewers.
Pierce didn't. It's like a good diner. Coffee's always ready.
We went through the coffee jokes last night.
Oh,
when Steve was in here.
Well, see, I didn't get
most of them all bad.
I didn't get to use them on the radio, so I had to save.
Pirates trailing by a run right now. 2 down. Pierce is the tying run. He's aboard. Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine Pirates post-game show coming up next with extended highlights and expert analysis. Our team is ready to answer your questions about the Bucs and break down key plays from the game. AGH Sports Medicine Pirates post-game next on FSN. So here is LaRoche. He'll take a ball. Dotel is starting to loosen up. Meek back and throwing. Axford's 1-0 pitch coming to Andy LaRoche. There's a strike. Little breaking ball.
He wasn't able to locate that fastball all of a sudden, so he went back to the breaking ball so he could get a strike in there.
One popped up. Foul ground. That'll be way up in the seats.
And the high fastball, they got a swing on it. That's been his best weapon so far, is that letter high pitch. And we've been, for the most part, going after it, except Pierce. Pierce is the hitter that's been able to lay off that pitch.
One and two the count. Axford ahead of LaRoche here. Pierce at first. And the pitch. And he goes to right. Hart was playing him almost on the track. Had to come in to make the catch. And Axford gets the Pirates in the 8th. We'll head to the 9th. Milwaukee leads it 4-3. And here comes Donnelly. Walk-off grand slam. 7 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning as the Braves beat the Reds. Francisco Cordero giving that one up. John Maine, how about this one, Bob? Taken out of tonight's start after 5 pitches against Washington. Diminished velocity. Wow. That's a new one. John Lester, complete game. Red Sox beat the Twins 6-2. Troy Tulowitzki of the Rockies has a 3-run home run, and the Rockies leading the Astros 3-0 in the 7th. And Brendan Donnelly back off the disabled list, back on the mound.
He's happy to be back out there. He needs to work on those stats. He's got that 7 ERA and real wild early on. 10 walks in just 9 innings. It's something that he'll also have to give a lot of effort to. 1 more strikes.
Facing Casey McGee. Little nubber. And Donnelly will throw him out.
Well, sometimes a little trip to the DL can actually help you out. If you're scuffling a little bit, you get some time off. And then before you get to pitch again, they'll have you have a lot of sideline work. They'll have you, sometimes even though Donnelly didn't have to, they'll send you to the minor leagues a little bit for some rehab assignments. And you'll get an opportunity to work on some things that weren't going for you. So we'll see if Brendan is able to throw more strikes than he did before he got hurt.
Ross Ollendorf will start tomorrow night against the Atlanta Braves against Tim Hudson. 1 out, Corey Hart, the hitter, takes a fastball strike. Hart had a triple in the second inning, and that scored Casey McGee, who had walked in front of him. And then Hart walked in the fourth, and he came around on Gutierrez's double. I beg your pardon, he scored on Adam Stern's ground ball out. It would be McGee who scored on Gutierrez's double. Either way, he scored 2 runs tonight and is 1 for 2. Once it foul. Still kind of surprised at the news from the Mets. John Maine taken out after 5 pitches, diminished velocity.
Yeah, that reminds me of the news release when they gave me the job as an announcer. They asked the Pirates, why are you kicking him up to the booth? They said diminished velocity.
They did not. But it fits the story, so we'll go with it.
They could have.
1-2 pitch. Hey, got him. Strike 3. 89 on the pitch.
If you get in the right location, you don't have to be up in the 90s. Got it way upstairs, and with Hart, you really got to go way upstairs. About 6'6". Silver high, couldn't catch it.
Carlos Villanueva's up. Pitch coming to the catcher, Gutierrez. One thing to keep in mind about the Brewers this year is they have dropped 6 games when either leading in the 8th or leading after the 8th. It's a pretty large percentage of games when you're in the 8th inning or better.
Goes to the Bucks.
Pirates will have Cedeno Jaramillo and Delwyn Young due up in the bottom half of the 9th. The 2-0 pitch coming from Donnelly to George Gutierrez. Down to pop it up. Andy LaRoche giving it a run in front of the dugout. He got it.
Good inning by Donnelly.
Perfect inning with a strikeout for Donnelly. Now the Pirates coming up. They need a run. Milwaukee. Sunday on Inside Pirates Baseball, the Buccos have one of the most experienced benches in the league. Learn the secret of their pinch hitting success. Plus, meet the special guest Andy LaRoche hosted at the ballpark. Catch all this and more Inside Pirates Baseball, Sunday at 12:30 on FSN. Coming in is not that man, the all-time saves leader in the game. In a save situation, Carlos Villanueva is in. And his fifth blown save came against the Reds. Roland hit a home run to tie it. And Joey Votto off the wall. Heisey scores. And it's all over for Hoffman. 5 blown saves this season. The last 2 seasons previous to this one combined, he had a total of 4 blown saves. So Villanueva is in to try to hold down the fort for the Brewers. Facing Ronnie Cedeno. Ball 1.
Pirates may have started that ball rolling with Hoffman. How did you say he had 5 so far?
And 2 of the 5 are against the Pirates.
Yeah, we got those 2 off of him.
Consecutive days, April 27th and 28th.
Yeah, right at the end of April when we were in Milwaukee. Well, they were both on home runs, too, weren't they?
Ryan Doumit home runs. So one of them was a grand slam. That was on the 27th. And then Doumit tied it up with a solo shot in a pinch hitting role. Became the only player ever to hit home runs in consecutive at-bats against Trevor Hoffman. Villanueva's 2-0. Way outside, 3-0. So Villanueva 1 pitch away from putting the tying run aboard. Again, I mentioned it last inning 6 times this year when leading in the 8th or leading after the 8th. The Brewers have lost a game, so they've given them up late. 3-0. Ooh, inside. That's a strike. Cedeno 1 for 3, singled back in the 6th inning. Popped out to Fielder in the 1st and flied out to Stern and center in the 4th. So the 3-1 on the way. That's strike 2, count full.
81. You think he aimed that one a little bit?
He took his time. Big pitch in the ball game right now. Leadoff man here in the bottom of the 9th, Cedeno. Here comes the payoff from Villanueva. Up in the air to right field, down the line. That'll make the seats.
'84, I believe.
He wants a run. I take it.
He wants it very badly. He is end of this 9th inning.
Again, the payoff from Villanueva to Ronnie Cedeno. In the air to center. Stern calling. 1 down. Pirates 3 runs all came in the 1st inning. Nothing since. Chris Narveson, the pitcher of record of the good. And Paul Maholm on the other side of that, in spite of the fact he had a season-high 7 strikeouts and pitched 7 innings. Maholm continues to eat up innings, but a run in the 4th after he walked Corey Hart. That's the one that's going to sting him when Adam Stern grounded out to the right side and Hart was able to come around and score.
Well, Doumit's out there, and they're going to have a little conversation about it, and I'm sure they're talking about the Doumit home runs.
So, not against Hoffman, but Doumit burned the Brewers on 2 different occasions. That's a grand slam. And the next day, ties it with this one right inside the foul pole. And Ryan Doumit, can he do it again? Hitting for Jason Jaramillo.
Rick Peterson out there now, the pitching coach. There was a little talk, and then he wanted to get in on it. I guess he waited until Doumit's name was announced before he went out there. They are sure to sweat this at bat out.
The Pirates are hoping for a bloop and a blast. They wanted the bloop from Cedeno. Now they'll look for a blast here from Domet. Strike is called. Domet 2 for 11 in his career against Carlos Villanueva. Here comes the 0-1. Hill. He got him right on top of the numbers. And now the tying run is aboard with one out.
You know, I saw him put down one and go inside, and I'm thinking, well, he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to hit him here. And sure enough, he does. Look where he's set up. He's trying to throw a fastball inside. And now we got a base runner. Doman looking out there a little bit, but I mean, that's the last thing he wanted to do was put Doman on base, believe me.
Yeah. 90 miles an hour right between the shoulder blades. Now Delwyn Young with one out. He'll take a strike. Struck out in his only plate appearance tonight, hitting in the 7th in the 9 spot. Stayed in the game at second base as part of a double switch when Bobby Crosby was lifted. Pitch is outside. Outfield very deep. You don't want anything getting past him. But that does leave a lot of room for Delwyn Young.
They are way out there. On any extra base hit that could score, Doman leaves the tying run.
Ryan Church has a bat. He's on deck. 1-1. Young swings. That's to Weeks. Could be 2. Escobar throws to first. That's a ball game. And Villanueva comes in and saves it for Narveson. And the Pirates fall short here and split this 2-game series with the Brewers. And the Brewers have ended a 9-game losing streak.
That's a tough one tonight. I wanted to win this one really bad to get the 2 in a row, try to really get some momentum going here at home. 3 runs in the first inning, and then that's all we did all night long, just those 3. That cost us. Can't sit on a lead.
So that'll do it for our game coverage tonight. Our next telecast of Pirates baseball tomorrow night from here at beautiful PNC Park in Pittsburgh, when the Bucks play host to Bobby Cox and his Atlanta Braves in the first of their upcoming 3-game series. It'll be Ross Ollendorf taking on Tim Hudson. Our coverage begins with the Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show at 6:30. Then Greg Brown and Steve Blass bring you the call beginning at 7 right here on FSN Pittsburgh, bringing the game to you. For Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett, the AGH Sports Medicine Pirates